We are back. Season 2, The Mams to be Changed podcast. Who would have thought? The producers gave us enough feedback and we're running it. How are you, sir?
Oh, I'm actually speechless at the minute. I can't believe we've got another gig and we've got another season and we're raring to go again. So we'll have to see how we're able to latch onto it and see if we can keep on trending upwards.
Yeah,
and keep on smashing it out.
This is unprecedented. From what we thought, we were just going to have a little silly chit chatting about our fantasy league, and we've had enough hype. We've come back for round 2. This is
absolutely.
Big
Honestly, couldn't
words.
happen. Yeah. I'd love for you to be able to explain that one for me, please.
All right, ready?
Yeah. Yeah, well played. I'll practice that throughout the year. Yeah, I'll get onto that. Yep.
We got a big one, Robbo. This is the draft recap. The first potty.
Oh, hang on.
Nice. He's 1-0.
We're on. All right. Sorry. Go ahead.
We got the draft recap. Biggest night of the year,
massive.
And Jack delivered. Yeah,
massive. Yeah.
I had a great time.
He was unreal. Like the racing simulator for me is the best one for me. Yeah. Well, any chance I get to bring it up.
Tell me how hard it is to drive a car when you're driving like this. Huh? Not.
Well, when everyone else is sitting there like that, and they keep doing these ones as soon as they let go of it, and then you go, "Oh, no wonder you fucking crashed."
I nearly had it.
Yeah, I nearly got to turn 2.
No. Yeah, fuck this. That was good fun. My highlight of the night was definitely we're all outside on the little plastic rage cage table, and he goes, "Hang on, lads, we're not using this table."
Yeah.
Oh my god! That was so good.
Yep, garage door slowly lifted up. Bang! There it was, buddy. Let's get the draft order sorted, fellas. I liked it a lot. Absolutely,
Robert. Without further ado, shall we get into it?
I reckon we shall. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hit us off with the first one. Oh, what do we got first?
Before I do the first one, we have a another big word, occasion here.
Ooh, geez, you and your big words.
Someone's podcast virginity. Long awaited.
Stop.
It was a highly valued member of the league with his opinions. The one, the only.
I know who this is. Is the only man to still not be there.
Whoa! Please turn the camera and microphone on. Billy.
He's here.
There's a button I had to press and everything.
It's literally
welcome.
The best till last. It's the best till last, right here.
And he's first.
We're waiting first and last. Ooh.
At the same time. This is huge.
How do you become first and last? Unreal. Welcome to season 2.
Yeah, thank you. I'm glad. We're kicking things off right with the third place last year.
Season 2.
I'm
definitely going to say you're going to be a more included guest on this podcast after not having you on season 1.
Already 1 out of 1.
Yeah, he's already there.
Does it get any better?
It's better than having a loser on every week. Let's just say that.
True.
Yeah, well, that's the hard thing about being so fantastic is that you can't. I couldn't get down to the level needed for this podcast, unfortunately.
Yeah,
I didn't change my team in the last game of the year and still not bottom. Oh, Riz.
Oh, Riz, yeah. What a jerk.
We had some low scores, though.
It's not one.
Just give his name out.
If it's not him, I'd like to back Pat in if I could.
Yeah.
But wasn't Pat and Riz, they weren't the people who ended up with the most losses, right? Wasn't somebody ended up with like 4 and it wasn't them? I never remember. But
nah, I can't remember. I couldn't tell off the top of my head. Couldn't tell. Season 1's done.
Yeah, that's
last year.
The
one and done.
About the bottom 4 was that Plen went from in the finals 2 weeks to go or 1 week to go, and then in the HNT in the last week. So that was
the key there is he had to win more games.
Yeah, he had to be better.
Yep.
Bravo, you won more games than him, right?
I did win more games than him. I needed one more win, and I would have been sitting here with the Mindy right now.
Yeah, I needed 0.03. That's last year.
Yeah.
Last year.
Yeah.
All right, Michael.
Anyway, moving on.
Before we get into it, what was your highlight of Saturday?
Highlight of Saturday. Probably when my suit completely fell off and I was just like mooning you guys for a moment there. That was pretty sweet. And Jack getting like way more wasted than he expected to get because he kept having to explain the draft.
Yes.
Great rule. Do you know the best thing was? The rule was gonna be drink, like the D word drink.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you mean the D word draft? And he's like, oh yeah, something. And you've just killed yourself here, brother. You've got to explain so much.
So many.
Oh, you know what? Also waking up Sunday morning and the house not smelling like beer because of the other rule.
Yeah, good other rule.
That was
too.
Pretty amazing.
That was a good rule.
That's going to be introduced to every party from now on. That's like up there with Buffalo and cricket now is like automatic rule.
Yeah.
I like it. I'm happy to lock that in. In.
We are going to move on into the recap of the draft. Let me get it up here. We're going to go team by team and actually have their picks up of who they picked. I want you to give us your opinions first, Bill. So I'm going to kick it on to, we're going to see Marty's team. You can no, not Marty's team. Matty Rebotham. He was pick one. So
okay.
He was pick one.
I'd have stronger opinions about Marty's than Matty's.
and then we'll go on from there. Let me know if you want me to zoom in. Actually, I can zoom a little bit.
Yeah, that was a great effort. Looks good.
Well played. Yep, I'm happy with that.
All right.
So
take it, Bill.
Well, Matty has done the right thing and diversified as soon as possible when he realized he accidentally ended up with 3 good players on a really bad team, that being the Atlanta Falcons. So getting Chase Edmonds in there now is probably really, really good. Because initially it looked like he was just going to be fucked on a bye week. And that's not ideal. I don't have really strong feelings about this one. This is a fine team. I don't feel like it would be good. I don't feel like Russell Wilson's good anymore at all. But that's just a guess.
That's a take.
I think he will be good. I think that's going to be a massive.
Let him talk.
Sorry.
No, that's pretty much. I want you to argue with that because I don't understand how we can just be like, oh, Russell Wilson was bad last year, but he'll probably be better now. I
don't know. I don't even have a science to it. That's the thing. Well, I just, you have just that gut feel. Like you got to have a bounce back year at some point. So I think that's it. He's had one down year and off he goes. He's back to what he's doing. It's a fresh start as well. Yeah, he's the fresh start too. He's got new toys to play with. I think he gets it done.
So I think last year he I don't know what he did to his finger, but it was on his throwing hand. He had some sort of finger.
Slightly hurt his finger. Oh.
Yeah, that fucked him up. Obviously had a bad year. But 2 years ago when I think I had him, he was the quarterback one for the first half of the year. He's going nuclear. I think he's going to be good because in Denver he's going to have a much better offensive line and then a much better passing coach, I think, than Pete Carroll ever was because he is old and likes to establish a run. It is a downgrade from Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy because DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett are just better versions of them, but they're still good. I think he picked him in the 4th.
It could be early.
It's only early because the guy who the pick before him also took a quarterback in the 4th, so there were quarterbacks going.
Yeah, it felt like as the draft, the way it felt like everyone was like, oh, let's wait on quarterback, and then about midway through the 3rd, every second pick was a quarterback, and suddenly Russell Wilson's like the 10th quarterback off the board in the 4th round.
Yeah.
When Matty there was one quarterback off the board when he had his 3rd pick, and then 10 off the board when he had his 4th. Yeah. It was. So he probably felt like he had to get one, which is fair enough. I don't know. Russell Wilson feels like he's not running as much anymore. And if he's not running as much anymore, how good a thrower is he to make up for that?
That's true.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
But, George Pickens, good idea. We'll see. The Pittsburgh wide receivers, there's so many of them. like with a bad quarterback. I just don't feel like any of them are going to be good enough.
Yeah.
But, you know,
Look,
take a
one's
flyer
got to
on.
be okay. One's got to be okay. It's just a dart throw on who is.
Yeah.
Like one's going to be fantasy relevant. The rest are going to be pretty garbage. I would have thought.
Yeah. I think just summing up, I kind of agree with Bill. The team's okay. We still think that you're a coward for not taking McCaffrey number 1, but
Yep.
the team is
I
okay.
absolutely do not think he's a coward. I think he made clearly the right move.
No, he's a coward.
Coward. He's talked it up, said, I'm taking McCaffrey.
Yeah,
McCaffrey's my
it's because
man.
he said that.
I'm so
It's 'cause he
excited
said he was
about
gonna
it.
take him.
Okay. Because he's basically said, I don't want 25 points a game
I want
because
23.
I want 20 points a game. That was the decision he made. It's like,
Yep. Yeah, it's fair.
Pat Wall's
Still
going
a
to beat
coward.
him into the dirt this year. I love it.
Still a coward.
All right, lads, I'm gonna kick this one off. This is Marty's team here. Now, there was
easy one to kick off.
There was a bit of a conspiracy theory here. I was sitting next to Kobe, and throughout the whole night, he was telling me, "Mate, I reckon Zave is butchering these picks on purpose for him because there's no way he's picking these picks." It's safe to say that no one that was there on draft night liked the process that Mitch was going with and the players that he picked. He starts off Derrick Henry. When C-Mac doesn't go 1, you think, fuck, he's going to take C-Mac, isn't he? He's number 2. Yep, no, Derrick Henry. An older guy coming off a foot injury on a worse team because they've got no receivers and everyone's just, you'd think everyone's just going to stack the box against Tennessee. I get it because he was so good last year, but it's not start I would have done with the second pick. And then from there on out, it's like you took George Kittle early 3rd, didn't have to do that. Trey Lance at the end of the 4th, didn't have to do that. But I guess if you want to tie a quarterback, you probably could have picked another one. Like Russell Wilson.
Still reached.
Yeah,
he still reached.
Yeah, I think Russell Wilson.
He was in the waterfall. Like this was the quarterback. He was at the right next to Russell Wilson, but still.
Yeah. He picked the Titans in the 8th round after Tom had just picked the Bills. That's like, if you want to take a defense, take it, but there's better ones in the Titans. Like that's
don't take one in the 8th round or the the 8th round.
Yeah,
don't take one at the 8th round.
The end of the 8th. That sucks.
Like, don't get me wrong. I know we've only things have been changed up. We only got 11 picks or 11 rounds this year, but in the 8th, you're an idiot. You're an absolute idiot.
A defense in the 8th and not one of the best is even worse. Look, you picked George Kittle in the 3rd. Someone could argue you could kind of convince somebody that's a good pick, but then you went on to pick another 2 tight ends. That's just.
I think you were very believed this entire time. That is the main problem with this entire team.
Yeah, that's just not good.
2 running backs
and 3 tight ends.
3 tight ends.
I mean, I guess if you wanted to, the plan is I'm going to sabotage other people by not letting them have tight ends. Sure, but the 2 tight ends that you pick later are garbage anyway.
You're only sabotaging
yourself.
2 blokes. It's like yourself and 2 others at best.
Well, even really, it's only
held
one
out
because you can't play 3 people at once. Like if your other guy doesn't have a tight end, you're only sabotaging him.
Yeah, and sabotage is such a strong. He minorly inconvenienced me when I was like, I should grab Gesicki, and then I was like, he's already been taken. All right.
Yep.
I guess I'll grab one of the other average tight ends later.
Yeah, like after the draft.
We know he's a Browns fan, so he's got Amari Cooper. Look, if you have to pick one that's not going to be Nick Chubb, I'm okay with Amari Cooper because someone's going to catch passes. But yeah, there's not a whole lot to be happy with. Like he's got players that are good. It's just where he picked him is not good.
He's reached a lot. He has reached a lot. I just
think if you look at, we have to start running back, wide receiver, and 2 flex. Most teams on here have ended up with a good 2 flexes. He's ended up with Jamar Williams in one of his flexes. Like, I just don't. Yeah. I think that's such a fall off from all these guys around that he could have picked by either not getting a tight end or going with Drake London, who might have popped off, or going with any one of these wide receivers. Like his only other choice, because mediocre tight ends do not score anywhere near as high as mediocre wide receivers.
Oh, no.
No.
Tight ends are an inconvenience.
Yeah.
If you're going to
top
pick
3
shit
tight
ones.
end, they're all shit after that.
Yeah. So you'd prefer to just keep taking swings on wide receivers and running backs and hope one of them sticks for you, but instead he's just wasted his picks. And that's, whatever you're into. I'm not into wasting picks.
We get it's not easy being on the other side of the world to do a draft, especially when it's probably one of your first more serious ones that I know of anyway. At least we know that you can't get worse than this, Mitch. So good luck.
I would like him to have a chance to defend himself. Like I want you guys to somehow work out how to get him on here and just let him talk through what information he was relaying. Like, was David Njoku ahead of Alan Lazard on his chart, or was he wanting a tight end? Like, I just don't understand what information he was providing to end up like this.
Yeah.
I think we can provide that platform. That's something I think we can look forward to.
We can do that. Yeah, week one when he's got the lowest score, we'll bring him on.
Yeah,
everyone's team vaguely makes sense. I just can't comprehend what instructions were being given with this one, which is why I wanted to talk through it, because maybe I don't know.
Maybe it helped.
I'm going to be more confused after the explanation, though. So,
unlike these guys, you're like, oh, fuck, well, shit.
Yeah. I really think Njoku in his 6th season will break out.
He's got Jacoby Brissett throwing in the ball the first 11 weeks.
Anyway.
Let's move on. We can move on. Big 3. Paddy Wall.
Oh, no. This went real well. Good work.
Big 3. Paddy Wall. Matt, take us.
Well, fell to 3. Christian McCaffrey, normally a pretty good start. Then he's gone back on the other way and gone, do you know what? I'm going to go a wide receiver 2. He's banking on McCaffrey being healthy, but I like that he's turned around and gone, rightio, if McCaffrey does go down, I've still got a number 1 running back that's going to get the bulk of the work in Hubbard if McCaffrey does go down. So I think that's the big thing there. After that, it falls away pretty dramatically for me. He went early on the rest of his picks, like Mitchell, Renfro, then went Matty Stafford, which was again in that sort of quarterback period where he
right
went
after the 4th round.
Yeah, everyone's decided to pick a quarterback. I might need to pick one too. And then from there, like, it's just been stabs for him. I think the only good late pick that he's really made was Chuba. But yeah, other than that, I think his first 2 were solid, and then he sort of panicked a little bit. I believe anyway.
Bill,
I like the way his team looks. Sort of. I don't know. It's like I like looking at McCaffrey, Hill, Mitchell, and Renfro as players on starting with Ertz there and Stafford. Like, I just think that looks nice enough. I would have taken that team if I had a choice. I just think he probably could have got more value with those guys or similar guys in his, like, I don't think anyone was taking Renfro there. I don't think Stafford ended up being the 11th quarterback off the board. He could have just waited and ended up with Rodgers, Carr, Cousins.
And there's 6 more people have to pick a quarterback,
So at that point, it just, and we've said this for all 3 of them, but at this point, like, they went 9, 10, 11 with quarterbacks. Unless you're really passionate about one of them, it's like, just wait it out. All the good ones are, like, the really good ones are gone. You don't need to worry about it. And he dived into the New England Patriots defense, which everything I've heard is going to be, like, historically bad or something. Like,
that's a love pick. That's a love pick.
You're allowed one
like me choosing the Falcons right now. Like, it just seems like a poor idea.
That's a New England boy picking New England because he can.
Yeah, you want to end up with your favorite team.
He's done it in the last round, which is exactly how you want to do a heart of a head pick. So what I'm
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
I'd have to
agree.
agree.
How long they stay on his team.
Yeah. I think it could have been a really good. Just to finish off, I think it could have been an unreal team. It could have been the team. When you look like what Tom's was last year, I think, as Bill said, it was just those middle order picks, that 3, 4, 5 sort of section that sort of brought him back down with everyone else, I reckon.
Yeah, like you said, I pretty much concur with everything that you just said. Like McCaffrey and Hill, pretty good first 2 picks. You wouldn't be too sad with them. And then I guess, with the 16-man draft, you've got so many turns, especially because he's number 3. He's got what? Fucking 29 picks before his next pick, something like that. You can understand reaching because whoever you're going to want is not going to be there when they come back. So
yeah, correct.
Correct.
Mitchell probably makes sense because he wouldn't have been there in round 4 probably.
Yeah.
No, but he still probably had better value there at that point in time if we were to look at the draft board. I know at the time I went, there's so many better options on that I was looking at for him. I'm thinking, geez, I can't believe he's gone there. If it was a late 3rd, you sit there and go, oh, okay, yep, I can see what he's doing. Early 4th, all right, I can see what you're doing, but not an early 3rd. I think that's a touch early.
I just like he is ecstatic with getting McCaffrey and Hill. I cannot believe Hill fell that far. So,
2 studs.
At the very least, that
2
is
absolute studs.
They should be enough to carry him where he doesn't win the HMT again if they play 16 games for him. But that's
if they play 16 games, he's nowhere near the HMT.
Yeah, that's the F.
It's simple as that.
Yeah. I'll move on to pick 4, and this was Ryan. Bill, we'll go back to you kicking it off.
It feels wrong to say that I absolutely love Ryan's team.
Whoa!
I would absolutely I like Dalvin Cook. Yep. Ryan was smart with backing him up. I think Breece Hall is smart to go get him. I've heard Michael Carter's playing really well and probably going to eat into his time, but Breece Hall's going to be the guy eventually.
Yeah, he's better
this year, I guess. I love Ayuk and Lazard. Give me Ayuk. Like, you don't have to start them, and both of them could be guns. And Jalen Waddle's clearly really good. He was really good last year.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really liked his team, and mainly because it has Kirk Cousins, and mainly because he waited till basically the last round to get him, which is
10th round and 10th round.
Yeah,
that's the white Dak Prescott right there.
Yeah,
easy.
Yep. Absolutely.
And everything I've heard about Minnesota and is it Kevin O'Connell, the new coach from the Rams? I think it is. They're instead of being a run heavy team, they're changing to pass heavy. And Kirk has been like a top 10 every year, and now he's going to be throwing more. And he's got 2 elite pass catchers and Dalvin Cook out of the backfield. Like, he could have 5,000 yards like nothing.
Yeah, so, it feels wrong to say, but I like it.
It does. There's a lot of promise for this team for sure, a lot of potential.
And you got the 49ers. 49ers, I think, is probably the best defense. So, go ahead. Love it.
There's a lot of potential. Sorry, I just want to say it. Lazard could be the steal of the draft if he ends up being the number 1 and actually performance for Rodgers. So I just want to say that.
No, absolutely. The only player I don't like out of his side is Breece Hall. I'm not about it. Obviously, he will eventually become that player, but I think he won't start for him for the first 6, 7, 8 weeks. So you've got to to go 3rd round on him is pretty. It's a pretty ballsy play. It's a big boom or bust play.
You mean pay off that starter's price, be a double-digit point scorer sort of thing?
Yeah, correct. I don't think that's gonna happen till the second half of the season at the best.
Which tends to be the pattern with rookies anyway.
Correct, Absolutely. There's a lot of hype on him. Understand why he ate into the hype, but yeah, me personally, I just think that it was too early. Everything else though, I look at and I like. The more I look at it, the more I keep liking.
The only problem I see in teams like that with ending up with Breece Hall and ending up with even Ayuk maybe is I never like getting the second option on a bad offense, and I'm not calling the 49ers a bad offense, but I am calling Lance maybe not a good, like, if he's not a good
passing
thrower,
offense. Yeah.
then Ayuk might not do anything. And Brees Hall, we saw with Michael Carter last year. Michael Carter was the only running back for the Jets last year, but they were so incredibly bad that it didn't matter.
Yeah.
And
he was still irrelevant.
And I don't necessarily believe that the Jets are suddenly going to be better. Like, Zach Wilson has not shown anything yet. So
anything Zach Wilson has improved off the offseason is his MILF hunting ability.
Oh my God. He's hitting A pluses there.
Yeah. A lot of boom. I would say a lot of boom bust potential. This, like, he's got some steady players, but a lot of probably high volatility players as well. I know that's a third big word, Robbo. Fuck me.
Jeez, this is. I think I've got to get off this podcast because this isn't for me at the minute.
Isn't Waller injured or something?
Yeah, he's been like practice the whole offseason for like 3 days total, but he is signing probably a new contract, which could just be a holding thing.
So it might be like, I'm injured. As in, my wallet is sore. Give me more money.
Yeah, it could be that. It could be that. So I guess we'll see week 1 if he's fine.
Yeah. My wallet is sore. That is.
It's too light.
That's cool. That's call of the episode for me already. I'm gonna lock it in.
We've moved on. Number 5, Kobe. Robbo, what do you think?
Reached real early. I like Eckler as the number 1. Then decided that he didn't want to know anything of what's going on with anyone and went with DK. That just threw. And I think it made it hard for him to catch back up after that. All of a sudden he went Montgomery, then going to Prescott. That's a love move as well. I think poor Dak isn't quite. Yeah, I don't think he's quite up to it. But again, it was in that 4th round sort of area where everyone got a bit scared. Yeah. So overall, I'm not a big fan of it. I think he sort of got into his own head. I don't know if there's much more to say. Look, he drafted a kicker and a defense late, so at least he gave himself the best chance to get someone that'll end up, maybe doing something late. Like MVS, you never know, could pop off as well, being who's Rodgers going to go to. So could be a good call as well.
Nice.
You'd think it's Lazard, but there's a few darts, but I think he went early on a lot. Yeah,
that DK pick, he was telling me, like, I was primed and ready to take CD Lamb, and Riz, the pick before him, took him, and he just froze. He was like, fuck, what do I do?
Tyreek Hill's still on the board at the time.
Yes. I took
still there. Zeke.
I reckon I took Zeke. I took Zeke,
Zeke,
which was going to be his pick, and then CD was his next one.
Yeah.
Which obviously thinking with the head, with the heart again, not with the head.
Yeah.
I think that's what threw him. And then after that, he didn't know how to get back into it, and he was thinking, oh shit, like. So you look at it and you go, Eckler's going to be his big workhorse, but then after that, it's just role players, really.
That's the thing. In round 2, you're not going to have bad players. You're just going to have better situations than the others. Like DK Metcalf, we all know how good he is. He's still a good player. It's just, he's not going to be the same as he was with Russell Wilson throwing him those moon balls.
Yep. Even
I think this team is genuinely one of the worst teams here, and
it's rough.
It is mainly because of Metcalf, because Deontay Johnson fell in his lap. He was going way earlier than this in most drafts.
Yeah.
And Ryan even said that Ryan was meant to take him, but thought he was already gone. So Ryan ended up getting Waller, Deontay fall even further. Because Ryan's real salty about it. Pittsburgh fan. It shouldn't have fallen that far. But
be better. Be better, Tim.
And Metcalf ended up really close to Lockett in points by the end of the season last year, and almost got 0 points with Geno throwing the ball. And I got Lockett in the 8th round, and Metcalf's going in the 2nd. I get Metcalf is clearly probably a better player. Like, if you were to pick one, you'd pick Metcalf.
Yeah.
But jeez.
Yeah, 6 rounds later.
There's not
Yeah.
6 rounds difference.
Yeah.
No, that's
And it's not Lockett should be higher. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
See,
another.
but
You go.
yeah, I'm just back to the DJ chat. Like, again, it's just a situation. Yes, he had to pick him. Yes, it's a good value pick, but it still ends up being a dangerous play, being that what he's picked beforehand with everything else going on, like, it's a bad offense still. How are they going to get themselves out of it? So,
and not necessarily the main guy in a bad offense.
No,
that
correct.
always makes me nervous.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. So
I was going to say this is probably another result of having a first time being in a real serious draft with 12 other blokes who are like treating this like fucking what's next, always looking forward. He's not had that experience and knowledge based on him to seeing the shit go wrong where I'm going to take 4 players and I've got 5 picks before me, sure then one of them's going to get to me and they all go off. He hasn't had that experience. So all we know is kind of the same as what I said about Marty is this on the next year for next year's draft. You'll be better than this one for sure. Hopefully.
Yep.
Sure.
Yep. No, 100%. Hopefully.
So Dak is just not. He shouldn't have been picked there, and it's way too early for Dak.
Yeah.
No, that's
that in the 4th and Kirk Cousins in the 10th. You're like,
yeah.
Dak's got nobody to throw to.
Potential. He's got potential. Whereas, yeah, we agree.
Yeah. Concurs.
Yes.
All of the concurs.
We'll move on to Riz's team. This is Riz, isn't it? Yeah, this is Riz. I've got the volume screenshot. Love that. So he's pick 1, Cooper Kupp. Look, he's not going to be as good as he was last year because last year he was the best. But even if he loses 500 yards and 3 touchdowns, he's probably still the wide receiver 1. So good pick. CeeDee Lamb, home pick. A lot of potential, but also a lot of potential to be a bust because he's never had that number 1 pressure, number 1 cornerback on him. He's been able to use Amari to get the weaker cornerback matchup and have easier options to success. I do like he's kind of gone on like a lot of this is players that if it works out they'll be good. Like Cooper Kupp's he's steady, and then if Travis Etienne it gets to work, you'll be good. If CeeDee Lamb and Dalton Schultz can survive with the targets and manage, they'll be good. If the Eagles get better and Jalen Hurts can pass, Devontae Smith will be good. Like
that's AJ Brown then.
I think
taking pressure off him.
Yeah, with
doesn't
AJ
have to be the number 1 wide receiver. That's huge.
Yeah, Devontae Smith is easily one of the best second wide receivers in the league.
Yeah.
Like I see this team as a whole lot of if this, then that. Like Penny, Tony, we all know how fucking good Tony is on the field. He's just never on the field. So yeah, a lot of potential for this team to be either really good or really bad. So I guess that's kind of it's not the worst thing to have in fantasy. At least you've got something to look forward to. Like it's better. It's not the worst thing we've seen so far because you can see an outcome where CeeDee's a top 5 receiver. Rashad Penny's a top 20 running back. Kadarius Toney plays 10 plus games and he's giving you good value. So yeah, I don't hate this team, but I'm not like, this team is booked in for finals sort of thing.
If this side's my side, I'm scared. What are they going to produce this week? Like it's a big week to week sort of situation. Don't get me wrong. I think value pick for him's obviously Devonta Smith, as you said. Like that's a big value pick, being the best number 2 with the Jalen Hurts, who looks like he's about to pop off anyway. I think that's the way to go. But yeah, I think you're right. Very, very volatile. Like could go either way.
I think if you have Riz on Facebook, you should mute him for the majority of the fantasy football season because you are going to get so many messages. Oi, which rider do you have a running back available? Can I trade? Can I get a running back? I need He went really deep on wide receiver. He's got great wide receivers, great looking, but it's easy to find wide receivers.
Yeah.
It's really hard to find running backs.
Yeah.
And he's got 2 of them, and both of them are sketch.
Untrustworthy.
Untrustworthy running backs. And I think he is going to be really regretting that come week like 3. He's going to be like, I need a I need a starting running back, and I don't have one. Admittedly, he got screwed because all you'd say, if you look at the draft, Elliott went just before him. That's Robbo's running back. That's probably the last proper workhorse running back. So then who do you pick? And he went, all right, I'll go get Lamb, who could be amazing. But he should have just gone running back, like just thrown darts at every running back. He should have Miles Sanders on his team right now. He should have bloody Kareem Hunt on his team, right? Like he should just have every maybe running back because
one's going to hit. Like you know, running back's going to get injured. One is going to hit
2 darts, and it's like neither one of them could hit. So now what?
Yeah,
in a condensed roster, he's only got as you said, 2 running backs and 5 wide receivers. So a lot of positional imbalance there, which is not ideal.
Yeah. But you also, this year, you only need to start one.
Yeah, true.
So we'll see.
Well, you could start 3, like he started 3 receivers.
I'm going to be starting 3 running backs. So
there you go.
There you go.
Now, I think it's you, then Bill. So I think we'll leave them and then we'll move on to, Clem's team. I've done this well.
Rightio. So this is pick number 9.
This is pick 9.
Who gets to lead off here?
Do you want to? You start. You can start, Bill, if you want.
I had a very deep and D&M chat with Clem after the draft. You guys were all having fun, playing games, and he was 18 beers deep, talking 2 beers deep, talking very deeply about his team. And he was on the verge of tears about how proud he was.
Fuck. That doesn't surprise me.
He was so stoked. Every one of his picks is like, I mean, if it comes off, it's going to be really good. But, man, it might not come off. Because Gabe Davis is like, and I said it at the time, huge reach. Still was a huge reach. Still is a huge reach. However, if he gets 4 touchdowns every game, won't matter.
No.
He's also only done that once.
He's never caught more in a season. He's never caught more than 35 passes. Only 2 seasons, but doesn't give you a lot of...
Still.
He's going to be great.
Yeah. Najee Harris is probably good. Who knows? I was going to stay the hell away from him because I just don't trust Pittsburgh at all. But, he might be good. And then he's the same problem with he's thrown 2 darts with Harris and Dillon and then no other running backs.
Yeah.
And Dillon's not a starter. So...
Yeah, and he went early on it, like a 3rd round pick. Like that's not exactly, like holding that late and not drafting a running back. Like it makes it a whole lot harder. If Najee stays healthy, then he's all right. If Najee struggles or Pittsburgh struggle, then he's in a whole pile of hurt.
I think
it's amazing that bench.
Yeah, the bench is pretty good.
Yeah, bench is
but is it really good or could it be really
No, it could be really
Thomas
good.
hasn't played a snap in 2 years.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens. But coming off the bench, great idea.
Namesake that works.
Yeah.
I think what we will get back to with these 2 running back teams, probably touch on it when we go to see your team, Bill, but if he had followed up J.J. Dillon with another running back, it's probably not as big as an issue, but he's only got 2. So, if, God forbid, one of them gets hurt, he's in trouble. He either has to make a trade or get some backup off the waivers, which is never what you want to do.
Yeah. I just think, we've all played this long enough that, it's an excuse. The new guys, fair enough. But for the people who have played before, you don't spend your life going, I just can't find a good receiver. You spend your life going, I can't find a good running back.
Well, like you said, he's got a good bench. He's got Sky Moore in the 7th and Rashad Bateman in the 6th. There's plenty of receivers. There's only 20, 24 good starting running backs that you really
and then you just got to throw darts and hope you get another good one. One that can do some things, 7, 8 points, whatever. But the problem is shit running backs get you 2 points. Yeah,
we've said it before in this episode that there's been a lot of heart picks. AJ Brown, definitely a heart pick for Clem, I believe. Being a tight end and how much he loves him. I also said to Robbo just before we started this that given the fact that it was 16 teams, it really kind of hurts you if you went late on both quarterback and tight end, even though you have to start one, if you have both of them not a top 12, so QB1 normally or tight end one normally, it could be really bad. Like Derek Carr, don't get me wrong, could be really good. But yeah, he doesn't really have the floor that the guys ahead of him has. If he reached and got an early tight end, then got Derek Carr, you're like, yeah, whatever. But I just don't like that he waited on both quarterback and tight end, because Albert Obergrabadam is like, whoa, come on.
See, I don't think Carr's going to be any good. I don't think he's going to be any good.
There's a chance he's not.
I just like they sit there and they go, oh, he's now got Devontae. Like, what's he going to do? Blah blah blah. Like, it doesn't give you everything. It does not give you everything. There's a reason why he's going what, last or second last.
Should have been later than that, because you keep saying again, Kirk Cousins went after.
Yeah, picked him fifth. It was the 15th quarterback.
That was 14th, but yeah, he was real late. I just think if you're gonna wait for wide receivers and tight ends and quarterbacks, you need to be stocked up everywhere else. And he ended up stocked up in one of the positions, and he didn't end up stocked up in the other one. And it's like, okay. Yeah.
All right, we'll go on to Tom's team. Now, Tom, we'll let Matt go first in your team.
Rightio. Well, he went. I liked his first two. I like going for Chubb and then backing it up with Debo. I think both will do similar things to what they've done the last few years. I didn't mind the Juju pick as well. I think he might pop off a bit, especially with the situation helping him. I also like him wanting to try and get Chase as well. I think, or getting Chase. I don't like the fact that he's gone for Cordarrelle, but that's just my opinion. I think, drafting him in the 6th was a good value pick. I think that worked, as we were talking about. That's someone who could have really, really got things moving if, say, Chubb did go down. You've still got yourself a pretty healthy running back to go from there. I'm not a big fan of Clyde. That's the one thing I went, 4th round pick, not there wasn't much there, but if he could have gone a wide receiver and then ended up with Chase still in the end, and he still covers himself. I know that keeps him a little bit light on, but I still think it covers himself better off rather than with Clyde in his side at all. But overall, not a bad side. I like Justin Herbert as well. Obviously, he probably started it off. I think he was one of the first ones to get.
He was second after me, but yeah.
Righto, there you go. So, you went Josh Allen. We was always going in the second. So that's a different. It's Josh Allen daylight than the rest. So he was the one to start it off for the rest. I'd have to say.
Yeah. I think Chubb, Debo, Herbert, as a starting 3 is basically perfect. Amazing. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about Edwards-Helaire. I don't know how to feel about Smith-Schuster. They might be makes me nervous.
I think Juju has a better chance than what Edwards-Helaire does, though.
I think now that he's got Kadara Patterson, he goes into the starting 11, and you don't need to even play Clyde, and that's good.
Correct.
Who's the Kansas City running backs at the moment?
Him and Pacheco and McKinnon.
Correct.
Yeah. So, not to spoil anything, I think McKinnon is probably going to be the starter. And does anyone have him at the moment?
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah.
No.
Cool.
Is he just trying to sort out his team right now?
Michael Billy made a roster move. What's this?
I have too many good players. I can't pick them.
That's the day.
But yeah.
This is
I don't know if the depth makes me feel good. The Muth, sure, he's a fine player, but then Rashad White and Jarvis Landry, it's I would not want to start either one of those, and I don't really see a situation where they would be starting ever. So then, what's the point of them?
Yeah,
that's sort of yeah.
You might as well again have a dart with a few running backs and sit them on there and just you know,
Yeah, I like him
if it
having
pays off,
4
it
running
pays
backs
off.
more than having 5 wide receivers, though. I like him that he's got
Yeah.
4 there, like just in case something does ever happen, like an injury or one of them breaks out, then he's got the option.
Yeah, I do ultimately like him. Just he went hard on running backs. He got some good wide receivers. But yeah, it's just like the depth just doesn't look right to me. He also went super early on the Bills.
Yes,
that might be good. Who knows?
Yes.
I don't trust the problem with the Bills is their defense is probably like on paper good, but their offense is so good that there's going to be so many possessions that they're going to concede points just because of how many
the Bills are going to be scoring quick, so the defense is going to be on longer.
It's going to be 40-20, and 20 means you get 0. So that's not that helpful in the end. Yeah.
You just hope the defense runs in a few touchdowns every week, or there's forced fumbles.
Yeah, I did see that. Just you bring the name up, Bill. Their best defensive back, Tre'Davious. I think he's going to be on the pup to start. So not a good sign for their D. Although they do have like a good front 7 and the 2 safeties, but not having that lockdown will you'd say it would lead to more yards given up, which is never a good thing. What you want your defense to have. If you're going to take the first one, you want them to be like, yeah, this is guy. They're going to score 9+ points every week, probably. You would have taken one that it's like, yeah, they're never gonna fucking falter.
Yeah.
Team 12 now. I get the fact normally, like if I don't know how many mock drafts you guys did, but normally in a mock draft, within the first 10 picks, you'd probably see like 3 or 4 receivers. In our draft, that was not the case. Running backs were going hot and heavy. So by the time you got to the 12th pick, I get that Josh, who wanted to get Saquon, normally in the mock draft, he'd be a second-round player, but you get that, like we said before, if you want a guy, you're going to have to reach for him because there's a very good chance they're not going to be there when your next pick is up. And I respect him going to Saquon because, guys 2 years after the ACL, normally they're 100% together because like that was Cooper Kupp last year. It's been proven before that the first year after ACL's still not good, and then the second year they're back. And I think based off how good the Giants draft was, their first round draft, they got a good tackle, and I think the one from 2 years ago had a really good year as well. This could be the best offensive line he's played behind. And the potential for Saquon is number 1 running back overall because he's done it before.
The big thing is he's finally actually healthy. Like he's coming in the best shape he's been in. And if preseason's anything to go by, they're raving about him.
Yeah, he's
absolutely raving about him.
He's elite. We do like the fact that he got another running back who's a starter in the second round. Questionable the one he picked, but it's better than a lot of other people's second running backs. So can't hate that at all. He got a quarterback. He got the third one. Mahomes. Not going to be mad at having in real life the best quarterback in the game. Not going to be mad at having that at all. And then he kind of filled out with receivers and stabs with his later picks. So overall, if you were to say this is going to be your team after a 16-man draft, I don't think you'd be too upset with it, given the fact you've got 2 running back starters, a really good quarterback, an okay tight end, and then receivers that could be really, really handy. I'm a fan of this team to a certain degree.
I think the receivers, as Bill says, has said all the way through it, the receivers you can always chop and change with. His running backs, he's got 2 starters. I reckon one that'll pop off being Saquon, and the other one, great coverage, great one to have in a flex position. The only problem he would have had 3 until what, a day and a half, 2 days ago. When Brian Robinson decided, to get shot in the leg, not through any fault of his own, the poor fella. So could have been even better. If you look at that before, if there's not the leg shooting, then I think we're raving about his side.
Stoked.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I think DJ Moore in the fourth is very, very good. A lot of people have ended up with a lot worse picks when they've gone, you've got two running backs and a quarterback straight away. You need to hit your wide receiver. I feel like DJ Moore's going to be, he's going to be a top 16 guy, right? And that's all he needed to get.
53rd pick. Very handy.
Yeah, I think that's really, really good. I think his problem now is that his depth is just
whoa.
What was that? Sorry, what's going back?
His depth.
He's not dead. He just got shot. He's all right.
Yeah, he's coming back.
He's not dead. He's.
Did you say depth again? Did you?
Pam.
I think that's a massive problem. Is that his bench is now terrible.
He's
genuinely awful. And before it was he now has the running back problem, and he doesn't look like he has good wide receiver backup. So I don't know.
Well, as you can tell, with his last pick being not his last pick, but you had second last pick being Danny Gray. That's just a man who loves his San Fran boys.
He whispered to me, he's like, I'm gonna take someone. I don't think he'll be there.
Yeah.
So he just grabbed ages before his last pick. He grabbed one of the leftover ones, wrote Gray on there. I've never.
He caught one deep touch in the preseason. Yep, I'm on.
This is wild, by the way, and this is what we should think. For every last wide receiver pick, would I prefer Devontae Parker or this guy? Because Devontae Parker did not get picked, and is probably the starting wide receiver for New England.
Yeah,
I
definitely will be.
I think this team looks better with Devontae Parker in it. So, that's personal opinion, but I just think it's a good way to look at it. Devontae Parker's going to get 6 points a game or more.
Yeah.
And these guys are not. One of them not going to play at all. And admittedly, he's going to get rid of Robinson. He'll pick up some shrapnel or whatever. But,
Why did I do that?
Oh, good work. You're on fire.
Hang on.
You're on fire. Oh, we're one.
Fuck me. This is Stitch Up, boys. I apologize. Josh's team, you were saying?
I think we handled it. He needs a kicker at some point. Don't know why he doesn't. Is Will not?
No, that's Brad. That's Brad's bad doing. That's Brad's bad doing. He gave up at that point. Gave up. He does have a kicker.
I stopped taking track of everyone's team after I picked my last pick, and I was like, I'm done.
He got excited. That's all I can say.
Anyway.
It doesn't really matter. It's a kicker. He's got Will Lutz. He's got a kicker.
Well done.
Yeah,
that's all you need.
James Conner. I didn't even notice that Chase Edmonds left the Cardinals. James Conner versing anyone in the running back room?
No, it's his.
Yeah, so that's pretty substantial now, because it always used to be, Chase Edmonds is getting all the carry, Conner was heavy touchdown guy.
Yeah,
and now James Conner's all of the running game.
Yeah, he's going to have 25 touches a game.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
We'll go on to the next team, which is Mr. ACL drafter himself, Jack Williams.
Right, you better keep going here, Bradley.
Yeah, Jack, I told him after he made the Robert Tonyan pick, I went, Jack, that'd been a great pick 2 years ago when he had both ACLs. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, he still hasn't come back yet. And he goes, fuck. And I go, shit, I've just noticed, Jack, you've got another one. He goes, what do you mean? I go, Jack A. Dobbins. He's got one ACL. One healthy, fully original, natural ACL. Still not 100%. He goes, fuck, you're kidding, man. And I'm going, you're not going to believe it. There's a third. And Robert Woods, another ACL tear last year. Now, it has been said that Robert Woods is training at camp. He's healthy, but said it before, the first year after the ACL tear is never the one you want to have.
Good. Never
he is probably going to be the wide receiver 1 in Tennessee, but that could be 8 points a game. We don't know how good that's going to be. So 3 players coming off injuries, long-term knee injuries, not good. He's folded up by having a player who's not playing a third of the season. Not a good look. other than his first 3 players, I think because you had Javante, Davante, and Kyler. I don't think. Oh no, Jacob Noble was his third pick. So his first 3 of his first 4 picks, very happy with, and then it falls off. So Jack, if you start the year with this team without making any trades or waivers, probably not going to be a good week 1, in my opinion.
What do you think the thought process was behind JD McKissick is the 3rd running back, and then he becomes the 2nd running back because his teammate gets shot, and then Jack
drops him. Yeah.
Like,
Made no sense. Made no sense.
You've been promoted. Get the hell out.
He must. he must still be a bit pissed from last Saturday night.
Last draft.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Wee.
Weird. I like Robert Woods on the bench. I think that's like him being your next man up is really, really good. I like Kyler Murray in the 4th. I think that is that's the sort of tier of quarterback that that everyone should have been going for. So when Jack started that run on quarterbacks, I think Jack was doing it correctly, where he got sort of one of the really good ones. And so everyone else who took one in the 4th, it's like, it's a tier below because Kyle's going to run. These guys are not going to,
like Stafford and Wilson. And
I think I just don't love Javonte Williams as your number 1 running back.
Timeshare?
Yeah. Like, I think whoever got Melvin Gordon, it was you, Brad. Melvin Gordon outsnapped him last year. And I get, all the commentary is Javonte. He's amazing. He looks incredible, blah, blah, blah.
So good to watch.
Melvin probably is still just going to split it 50-50 to keep him fresh. So then
they're going to be smart with their running backs.
Last time I was hearing it was more and more looking like a 60-40 snap count. So which doesn't make it good for Javonte. You hope he just dominates while he's on.
I think want to run Melvin Gordon into the ground if you were at Denver. Like Melvin Gordon's this huge back, and you just first and second down, run straight, bang, bang, and then Javonte skips around and is fresh against all these tired blokes, and it's like. I just think Melvin is going to get all the touchdown carries all the goal line
carries. That'd be the scary part.
Running straight ahead. So I think I don't reckon there's a high enough ceiling for Javonte. I get everyone loves him, but not in the second.
I think the hope is with Russ there, the whole offense is going to be better, so they're going to have more plays, more opportunities to score, and then you always play on if Melvin Gordon gets injured, if he gets traded, if something happens to Melvin, then Javonte's like a top 3 running back, because there was one game last year where Melvin didn't play and Javonte nearly had 30 points.
Yeah.
That's gets the hope. But yeah, like you said, if he was your 2, if you went running back and then Javonte, you'd be like, fuck me, look at this. I'm loving it. But didn't happen.
Yeah. Low floor, but very high ceiling.
Very high. Yeah.
There's a big gap between it.
Yeah. Darryl in the 8th is really, really good because he could be the starter. So that's a good idea if you get a guy who could be the starter. Again, he's injured currently or something
No, they're back. I came back the other day.
Oh, he's back? Yeah. But Darryl Henderson's your Melvin Gordon.
Yeah, I was just about to say it's the same contrast.
Same situation. Yeah.
Akers.
Cam Akers is not the player Javonte Williams is.
Oh,
so
no.
It's even more likely Darrell Henderson will get more touches and stuff. So.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose when I said Robert Woods coming off the bench, he's actually starting because Hopkins isn't starting for 6 weeks. So.
Well, yeah.
That changes big.
That changes a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah. Doesn't look good for about 6 weeks.
Hope he can go 3-3.
You'd take that though, 3-3.
You would.
By the time D-Hop comes back, you'd take that.
Yeah. All right, next team. Fuck me, I've done it again. This is fucking.
Suck.
Oh my god.
You actually suck.
Where is it? This one. And it's
This
not even
is
the right
why.
team. Here we are, Zave's team. Fuck, we're here.
Jesus Christ.
Now, I want to say two things before we start. One, I'm not having it because it's absolute bullshit. Zave was telling me this is good because every draft I've done, Lamar's gone in the second or third. Zave, I did 50 mocks this year. He never went in the second or third.
Josh Allen went in the second.
Josh Allen did, and maybe Herbert and Mahomes, never Lamar. Also, there was another point in the draft. I said, why'd you draft Hunter Henry if you got Dallas Goddard in the fifth? And he's like, no, he's good. 2 days later, he's dropped Hunter Henry. So glad to see you came to senses, but we can move on from that. His team first, where's his third pick? Cam. His first 4 picks, or 3 out of the 4 picks, really good. They could be, if they were number 1 in their position end of the year, you'd be like, yeah, I can see that happening. So really good. That's what you want if you can have.
Not chasing the second, mate. Outrageous.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
Every mock I've done, he was in the first round. So that is an outrageous steal.
Yep. Unbelievable. Can't believe. Let's just with the volume of people who pick running backs, have to get a running back. Yeah. Have to get a running back. So he was the beneficiary of it in the end. Absolutely.
Yeah. Dallas got it, good tight end, and then the setting offense should be a handy. Like he's better than the end of the draft tight ends. Marquise Brown, the inverse of not having D-Hop for the first 6 weeks. First 6 weeks, Hollywood Brown should be an easily double-digit scoring player based off how good he was last year in a non-throwing system coming to this one. Already having that chemistry with Kyler as well, being college teammates, should be only good things for him. And like on paper, his starting lineup is really, really, really strong, which sucks to say because, God, I love beating Zabe, but yeah, it's a really strong team.
I quite like it. Running backs, just to see, like Kenneth Walker eventually starts, you just keep him around. James Robinson, Akers, Kamara, there's lots of running backs. He can find another wide receiver from anywhere. I like going deep on the running backs. Marquise Brown makes me super nervous.
I
think anyone on Arizona makes me nervous until you're still watching Arizona players. This guy gets 13 one week, this guy gets 13 the next week, and it's always a different guy. And it's like, I don't know if you can rely. Like, anytime I look at an Arizona player, I just can't rely on them. I don't always because there's too many of them, too many good guys.
But it's all good now. Kyler's actually able to watch tape now, so he knows where they're running to. So it's okay. Sure. They'll be great now.
4 hours a week, whether he wants to or not.
You see one of the preseason games.
Well, he definitely does not want to.
The first half, what's his name? The actual coach, Cliff, ran the plays, and the second half, Kyler ran the plays.
Yeah.
And Cliff put up 3 points and Kyler put up 14. And I know that's a product of having the other team's second or third string of defenders as well, but he's he's definitely not dumb.
He knows what he's good at.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like this entire team, this team completely is like, is Kamara and Jackson going to be last year or the year before Kamara and Jackson? Because if they're last year's, then this is a bottom 4 roster.
Yeah.
But if they're the year before, then this is a top 4 roster. So what's going to happen? That's what it all.
Yeah, I still like what he's done. With where he drafted everything like that. Yeah, you've got yourself a top end running back. You've got yourself a top end wide receiver. Arguably, could be number 1 for both. I think that really puts him in good stead. I think the only thing he missed out on was Lamar, but that's another head pick. That's another heart pick. I've done that all podcast, by the way.
Hey, you have the voice. I have the computer problems. Where are you?
Yep. Get the first one out the way, then we'll keep rolling from here.
He's that everyone shits themselves about quarterback pick as well. He was in that quarterback, and if he had waited one more round, he would have got no quarterback. So I guess he had to take.
I think Zabe took the first one of the 4th round because it went Allen, Herbert, Mahomes, and then it went Jackson, Kyler, and then I picked one as well. So I think Dave took the first one, being Lamar, and it's like you said, if he's 2 years ago, great pick. If he's last year, yikes.
Big problem.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, we will see.
Move on.
Otherwise, it's not letting me go. I know. Look, I just zoomed out. There we go. Next.
There you go.
Huzzah!
Look at him go. Look at him go.
Now,
Woof.
this is Jay Stu's team. He's it definitely looks better a week after draft than it does.
Oh, yeah. He's got the
Yeah.
starting running back for the Washington Redskins.
Yeah. First 2 picks, great. You're going to have the best tight end, and you have a running back who's going to get a lot more targets from Aaron Rodgers because Devontae Adams is not there anymore. So very happy with them. And then you followed up with the 2 Commander boys. It looked really bad on Saturday, but given what has happened, Antonio Gibson is a lot. You feel a lot better about him being RB2. And then he's kind of just, like you said, filled out the roster with wide receivers that have good upside, like Thielen and Godwin. If Thielen's as healthy as they say he is, and Minnesota's going to be throwing heaps, great pick, because we know anytime they get within 10 yards that he's just money in the red zone.
Yeah.
And Godwin, we know how good Godwin is, so if he comes back without missing too many games, that's a great pick. Aguilar, dart throw with New England player, which I think he has traded for Devontae Parker off the waiver.
Yes, so, I believe he has.
So fine with that. And Michael Carter, again, everything says he's the starter playing good. So early season, that should be fine until Brees takes over. And then he's waited on quarterback. I get it. Take your shot with Trevor Lawrence, and now hopefully.
Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you?
And now an NFL level competent head coach, you'd think that he'd be a lot better than last year, which is easy to do. Got a really good kicker. Yeah, it's
taken one that late though. A quarterback that late. He's got a strong tight end, so as you says, it doesn't make it look anywhere near as bad when you've got still a bit of a risky play at quarterback. It's sort of the only real. Well, now it's the only real question mark of his side. Now that Antonio Gibson's come to fruition, I quite like it. I think Michael Carter gives him good coverage as well. Again, you never know when Brees Hall is actually going to take over, so that could end up giving him 10 or 12 weeks.
It could be the new Devontae and Melvin like last year.
Correct. Absolutely. Absolutely. And pick 8, whatever that is at 100 and whatever it is. That's a grouse move. It's a great get. I think he could really do some damage with what he's got.
Yeah.
I think he constructed a really good roster and then put an unnecessarily risky player at the top of it. I feel like he could have gone simple, taken Cousins, and this would have looked a lot better.
Jeez, we love Cousins.
And I think he's just ended up taking a massive risk for no reason.
Yeah.
See, I don't mind the risk.
Yeah.
That's how you win. That's how you win fantasy. Not that I know how to win fantasy.
Like Lawrence, okay, he's a great quarterback. Cool. Who's he throwing to? Christian Kirk, the 3rd wide receiver for Arizona last year.
Let's go.
Sick. Like I don't get what, and he doesn't run. So what's the upside here? He turns into a really good NFL quarterback and still doesn't get your points.
Yeah.
I think that's the problem.
If he's a top 12 quarterback, that's, I guess, a pass.
But you take that with where you've drafted him, though. Top 12 quarterback, you sit there and you go, yep, rightio, I've picked him what?
Yeah,
third last or whatever it is.
He just hasn't helped you.
Okay. Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
I do agree with you, Bill, though. Yeah, Cousins would have made him look unreal.
It just looks normal with Cousins, and now it looks really risky with Lawrence. Because what if Lawrence is shit, which is as equally possible as him being good?
Yeah.
Big chance.
Whereas Cousins is always good.
Yeah, for some whatever reason, he just gets stats. We'll go on to the last team. And again, this is a newbie to the league. I don't know if he actually has had any prior drafting experience. I know Riz would always talk to him about it. He's had an interest in NFL fantasy, but maybe having the 16th pick kind of spiraled him maybe because he didn't take a running back.
Place to draft.
He didn't take a running back till round 3, so he's waited 16, 32, 47 picks, and that's way too long. select your first running back, because I think no one in the world has good vibes with Josh Jacobs as your RB1 and Damien Harris as your RB2, because if Damien Harris does exactly what he did last year, he's not even a top 10 or top 12 running back. So, and that was kind of like the best of what you're going to get. And I don't think that's going to happen, because I think everybody believes Ramondre is going to do a bit more, especially with James White retiring. Look, I love Diggs and Andrews. You know what you're going to get from them. They're guns. Brady, as solid as they can get, he's not going to let you down. It's just, it hurts that they're having the running backs. That's literally the only fault. Too bad it's like the biggest fault that you have on a fantasy.
Yeah. The Josh Jacobs. Yeah, Josh Jacobs one hurts. As your RB1, that hurts. No matter which way you look at it. That's the thing that looks scariest to me. Look, at least he's tried to cover himself as much as he can. Like, he's ended up picking 4 running backs, just none of them are going to stand out, which then hurts that running back position. And that could be the difference between him, probably being a mid pack or being right down the bottom. But yeah, I think that hurts the most.
Harris into the starting running back position on this picture, it looks bad. Like, I think Damien Harris is probably a starting running back. I guess Stevenson's quite good or whatever, but Harris is still going to get loads of the workload on the Patriots, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, you disagree, Brad. You don't think he's going to get it?
No. I had to pop up. I was just annoyed that.
Okay. But I really had, like, the Buffalo backfield's a mess, and I just think go nowhere near it.
You watch Zach Moss score 20 touchdowns as well.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that was the problem last year. Is Devin Singletary is like good in theory, and then Moss took all of his snaps, and the starting running back at the end of the year was Matt Breida. Like,
yep.
Never know.
And you watch them they'll do exactly the same thing again.
Yeah, it'll just cycle through. It's like Arizona wide receivers. It's like, which one do I pick? Because I don't know. So yeah, you're gonna hate all of them, unfortunately. And it would have been good to get a good second wide receiver, and you didn't end up with one.
Yeah, imagine if he went Steph Diggs and then Jamar Chase, and then went Miles Sanders and Chase Edmonds. You're thinking, fuck, that's a much better start than what I've got here.
Yeah, and he would have been able to end up with a pretty decent wide receiver in there as well. Because he would have gone on the 5-6 turn or whatever. Like, yeah.
But that's I guess that's part of it. You live and you learn.
Again, that's coming down. That's coming down to that experience, though.
Also, Tom Brady could be genuinely awful. He's 45,
and he's got no interior line.
I just think fifth round.
End of the 5th round. Yeah. That will move us on to, I think, our teams, and I've done it in the right order. I think it'll be Matt's first.
What's going on, Chrissy?
What is going on with Chrissy? It is Matt's first.
Excellent.
Beautiful. We'll go first, Matthew. JJ first could be the number 1 receiver, could be the first receiver to have 2,000 yards if he's had the most for the first 2 years in a run-first system. Not going to fault that pick at all. Zeke, second pick, like Billy said, he's kind of the last of the starting running backs you kind of can plant your flag on, knowing that he's going to get a lot of work and a lot of opportunities to score.
Looked real old last year, but at least he'll get all the touches. Yeah,
like Jerry Jones loves him too much to where he's going to say, "Don't let him score on that. Don't let him have the ball on the goal line."
That's the big thing. The goal line carries. I think. Yeah.
Pittman, if Matt Ryan treats him like his other wide receiver ones, could be a top 5 player as well. So lots of potential with him there. Like, his baseline, if his baseline's 1,106 last year with Carson Wentz, he's going to be better than that.
Got to go up. It's got to go up.
It's got to be better than that. Amon-Ra, based off last year, towards the end of last year, you'd be happy with that. I just worry I think when he was popping off, he was kind of like the only dude because Hawkinson wasn't there. He was injured. But if you're going to bet on young talent, he's not a bad name to have.
He's surrounded by Chark and the first round pick. Can't remember his name.
But he's coming off an ACL as well, so he won't be there towards the end of the year.
Yeah. But tell you what, not going to tear his Achilles. St. Brown?
No, calf raises. He does too
Definitely
many
not.
calf raises.
Yeah, definitely not.
He's in the gym too much.
That's
I think we can kind of say the same sort of thing we've said to other teams, though, Robbo. You've only got 2 running backs there. That could be the pain part of this roster. Like your wide receivers are elite. You've waited on quarterback, and you've still got an elite one. Haven't got a tight end in the picture. Have you got one yet?
Got one. I think it's.
Oh, Irv Smith.
I think it's Irv Smith.
Yeah, the Minnesota tight end was good.
Look,
good idea.
Very athletic.
Honestly, hoping that Minnesota just pop off and we can go from there. That's just. But if it doesn't work, it's tight end. I go, oh, let's pick another one. Let's have another go.
Yeah, you're looking for 3 points from them. It's not
Yep. Look, if they sneak in somehow for a touchdown, all of a sudden you sit there and go, oh, bonus. Oh, great. So I
really like your bench. I just the 2 running back thing always makes me nervous. But I like your bench. I think Judy on the bench looks good. Burks on the bench looks good. You got to what you let everyone else fuck around up there with quarterbacks, and then you end up with the MVP.
Yeah, happy to play the game. My biggest issue is Zeke staying healthy and being able to be the bell cow that he is. That's going to be my biggest issue. Is if he is, or if Pollard is going to take a little bit away. If he does, then I'm in dire straits.
There's a huge potential running back issue here.
Correct, absolutely. And then it's just hope for Ramondre to take over and get a little bit spicy and go from there.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, and he's got tuck.
Yeah, the leg.
Wow. Yeah. Well, no, I don't have Greg the leg. No, I don't. I do not have Greg the leg. You're wrong.
Tuck the big long
fuck.
Got me. So, yeah. All right, moving on.
I'm going to do. Brings us to your team. Robert, you can start.
All right. Well, I like Josh Allen in the second. I like Joe Mixon. I like Keenan Allen too. But yeah, it hurts me. I really like Josh Allen. I think he's going to carry this side. He was my boy last year. He was my man. He was the one. Yeah, he was the one who literally just carried me through. And I think that's a smart play. Look, don't get me wrong. With the restructure and everything like that, I think that helps the quarterback going earlier. I quite like it. I think obviously going from there, still needs to pick up a tight end, which I believe still haven't picked up a tight end, Bill.
No. I'm gonna wait till like the day before the season and drop Algier. But just in case Cordero Patterson tears his quad or something, I'm just gonna sit on.
Yeah.
But it all looks like Algier is is 3rd on the depth chart, so he's gonna get benched, and I'll pick up somebody.
Yeah. Yep. Play the same game as what I played, which again goes with that same thing of as what Brad said earlier, quarterback strong, therefore can wait on that tight end, and is able to just play a little bit of dart throwing and see what hits and what doesn't. But overall, I think quite good. Again, Miles in the 5th helps too. It gives you more prongs. Then you've got Damian Pierce as well at the bottom.
Gets me hot. I think Damian Pierce.
Yeah, I think this is a side really to be wrecked with. I think this could be one of my favourites going in.
Yeah, if you're going to get a running back in the first round that's a part of a really good offense with an improved offensive line, you're very happy. He was already a top 5 running back last year. The only way he doesn't get that again if he's injured. So great pick with Joey. Keenan Allen, you know what you're going to get from him. He's never going to be bad. You've got players on bad teams, but they're the best player, like Brandon Cooks.
They're the
only player. Yeah, it's not even like it's a timeshare. They're the only player on the Mooney is the only player on Chicago.
You were telling me that on the night, you're like, I don't want these players, but they should have gone earlier than this, and now they're mine. I didn't want him, but I've got him. And yeah, you're not going to be upset when Brandon Cooks again has over 1,000 yards and probably like 6 or 7 touchdowns. Same with probably Darnell Mooney, and probably the same with Lockett as well, because
they're
just going to.
I didn't want him.
Like you don't want him, but he's so good. In the 8th round, you're like, yeah.
Out of all three of them, obviously Lockett's one you've picked last out of all three, but he's the one who makes you most nervous, and you go, oh, okay. If it is what it is, yeah.
I'd rather have Tyler Lockett in the 8th than one of the rookies like George Pickens or Skylar Moore, because you don't know at any level what they could either have a lot one week and not next week. You know, Tyler Lockett, he's probably going to have close to 10 targets a game. Whether or not he catches all of them is a different story, but you know he's going to be involved.
Whether or not they go anywhere near him is probably the better way to go about it.
It's like, as Matt said, you took the quarterback earlier, so you didn't take a tight end at all, which is how you should do it, because having the best quarterback in a 16-team league, you're going to have a matchup win almost in that. Like, you know you're going to outscore somebody in the quarterback position about 10 matchups, and the other 6, you're like, I should win this based off that. I should win, like, sort of thing. You're
banking on 10 points. You're banking on an extra 10 points on any given week against anyone else. You're 10 points up.
I think quarterbacks are going to be emphasized because of our weird structure of our league.
Yeah. Yep. And obviously this is new territory for everyone.
The best one. So.
Yeah. Yep. And it's new territory for everyone. Absolutely new territory. So this is where it is going to be very interesting to see 16 teams. It's going to be pretty low scoring, I would have thought, with everything going on. It'd be good to see.
Gone the days of the 120, 130 pluses, because it just won't happen unless somehow everyone on your team drops a 30 bomb. It's not going to happen.
No, absolutely not.
The main problem I have with this is I just don't feel super confident about my wide receiver. I love my wide receiver depth. Allen is not top end wide receiver. Robbo took Pittman a pick before me. If Pittman was sitting there, I'd feel like
that's a completely different game, isn't it?
Instead, I'm like, I have a good wide receiver, but they're all good wide receivers. None of them are that sort of elite tier. So,
and you've probably got the issue then of matchups who are you going to play in what position and in what week and everything like that, which can end up becoming worse off because someone pops off on your bench nearly every time when you're playing the circumstance.
Yeah, that's why you get too many good players, you know.
Yep.
Yeah. Other than that, summing it up. Very, very well done. Draft.
Also, Nick Folk won most of my games last year, and I got him again. I'm so happy.
That's the ability to score touchdowns. Means the kicker kicks from 20 yards out, just guaranteed 3 points. Beautiful. And that leaves us with my team. So go ahead, boys.
You go first, Bill. Go on. Give it to him. Give it to him.
Give it to so you've got the same problem as me, except I feel less confident about your wide receiver depth. You don't have a elite tier wide receiver. You have a good wide receiver, which is fine. But who knows about Julio Jones and Olave? If Olave turns into an elite wide receiver or a really good wide receiver, that's a great pick in the 8th. And honestly, it's a crapshoot at that point. It's just who knows about him, you know? Allen Robinson, though, I knew he was going to end up on your team because it just seemed like you're the kind of guy who was going to go from. I'm pretty sure you used to talk about Allen Robinson a lot a couple of years ago or last year or something. You're like,
I did last year, but it wasn't in. I did last year, but it wasn't in good faith. No, I was very abusive towards him.
Okay.
There was a lot of Allen Robinson talk, and it was, why can't you do what you normally used to do?
I remember you used to be good, and so the period he'll be good as like the second option next to Cooper Kupp. Which is a good strategy. You know, it worked for Odell and it worked for Robert Woods for years. Leonard Fournette could be terrible. And that's a risk, I guess. but there's even less behind him now than there usually is. So he's probably going to get all the touches, like Elliott. He's now Ezekiel Elliott, which is fine.
Look, it's a very heavy draft, is what I would like to say. I would love to put out that it is a very heavy draft, especially at the top. Geez, the meatball, Mr. DeAndre Swift, and then straight into Lenny Fournette. Yeah, Jesus Christ. Oh my God, you got to put them on a diet.
Gonna be hard to tackle.
Have to be put on a diet. They can't run out of game. Not a chance. Not a 15 chance.
Yards at 6 yards a carry because he can't be stopped.
yeah, fair enough. So I think the big thing is obviously you're aboard the Jalen Hurts train. Big hype train there. I think it proved last year even when he was shit for real football, but great for fantasy still. I think he puts up better numbers than what he did last year. I think he goes off. But yeah, obviously Melvin Gordon, which we've already touched on earlier. Another good pick, another good value pick as well. But wide receivers get the job done. Two big fellas for your running back.
Melvin Gordon's huge as well.
He is like 6'1",
he is. He's massive. Yeah. But for a bloke who ripped on the fatty, everyone being fat and everything like that last year, the side's going to have to go on a diet.
I swung a full corner on Swifty. Swung hard. This is probably the most unpredictable pick of the year, given the fact that I still had other running backs I could have picked, like Saquon or Kamara at 10. Big 10 man.
I didn't pick it.
I don't believe in Swift at all, so we'll see, I guess.
Yeah, I'm glad you've got him.
Yeah,
I'm glad you've got him.
I took him because no matter what the score is, he's going to be involved because he can catch passes, and I think kind of like how I said with Bill's team, like you've got receivers that, like they're on bad teams, but they're the only target. I've got receivers on good teams, but they're the second target. They're not the first target. So the hope is that the offense is just good enough that they can do something.
Yeah, and that's
normally
my strategy.
Yeah,
you'd think that would happen though. The receiver will be good.
Yeah.
Would have to agree. I think
Dawson Knox, great pick. I
would have had him late.
Yeah, I'm happy.
He's like
happy with that because he was
decent tight end.
He was the last one where if I didn't get him, I'd be like, well, I'm not going to get one until either the end of the draft, so I'm not going to get one.
Yeah, that's when you wouldn't have got one. After that, there's no point.
Yeah,
Jalen Hurts is going to be thrown to like actual taller than 6 foot wide receivers this year.
Yeah, it's
people who should be playing football instead of the ones that shouldn't have.
I reckon it's going to be so substantial. I think he's going to be much better. I like that as a pick. Anyway, so who's our favorite?
Yeah, I'll go first. I think you guys just talked the whole lot. My favorite after all that begrudgingly, I would have to say is Zave. Yeah,
why?
He's top.
What
he's
was
top, he's top
one?
Not any one pick. It's just a top tier talent. Like I said, you could see the case that if at the end of the year he's got the number one quarterback, running back, and wide receiver, you wouldn't be like, how the fuck did that happen? Why are they all number one? You can be like, I wouldn't be surprised if they're all number one. So that's why he's my favorite team.
My favorite team is Ryan's. Probably all because of Kirk Cousins, but I'm sure there's other good players. I just think he's smart to wait that long and then still get probably the 8th best quarterback. Seems like a good idea.
My one's actually Billy's. My favorite team. Favorite team is Bills. I think Joshy Allen, obviously a little bit of a heartstring right there. But I think Joe Mixon, Keenan Allen, I think he's got a good mix of running backs as well.
This is almost like your team last year, right? You had Allen and Mixon, didn't you?
I had Allen, Mixon, and Allen.
Jeez.
And I had Tyler Lockett at a point in time, I'm pretty sure, too.
You did.
So, I you're in good hands, Bill. Is all I can say.
Yeah, it's the sort of my team last year, if I ran it back, would be the worst team in the league this year. Your team last year, I'm running it back. Let's see how it goes.
Yep. Hopefully, it's the worst team ever.
Don't make me cry. All right, cool. It's 9 o'clock. Is it bedtime?
It is 9 o'clock. This has been a massive session, 2 hours on the potty with classic technical difficulties. So thank you, Bill, for coming on. We've rubbed the 0 and 0 off the board. You've had one.
Absolutely.
Hopefully, we'll get you a couple more times out during the year. But thank you, and good luck for the year.
Excellent.
Absolutely.
Thank
As
you
always,
for having
fellas.
me, boys. Good to see you guys.
Yeah, you too.
As always. Never a chore.
Always a pleasure. Till next time, boys. Catches.
See you.
Bye.